Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Well, the Bleach chapter came out, and this is the Bleach review of 459. This chapter, when I began reading it, turned into a chapter that I knew was going to be, how do I say, crappy? Okay, but basically let's get into it. Okay, this is what happened. Beginning, you got... The beginning is pretty much details. It's pretty much a flashback, and Uli was basically saying, "I remember that." He says, "I remember the attack," and basically what he remembers is he was running and he sees Tsukishima, and who comes out of the blue? Ginjao, and he attacks him, and then Ginjao and Tsukishima have a conversation and saying, "Oh, this is one of Ichigo's friends," and blah blah blah, saying how he was weak, and he's like, he tells Tsukishima, you know, we'll do it this way. You'll attack me, and I'll believe you to be my enemy, but in return, I'm actually your ally. And that was the explanation of the whole situation. While that was going on, Ginjao then absorbs Ichigo's full bring, pretty much. He absorbs it, and this is the one thing about this chapter that I was disgusted with. Ichigo's crying? Seriously? No pun intended. He's crying. And then he's saying, "Ginjo, give me my," and then he says, "Be lucky that I let you live." And then I think Tsukishima says, during that exchange, "Oh, I feel bad for Ichigo." Then, at that moment, when that is going on, guess who shows up? Kisuke and Ishin. After all this bullshit we've been pulled through, this fucking arc that has been just, it's like a turtle. Finally, it reaches the finish line. We see Ishin, we see Kisuke. He comes out of this area, and Ichigo gets stabbed, and he says, "Dad, why did you do that? Why did you stab me?" He's like, "I didn't stab you, you idiot. Once you take a look, you probably can see who stabbed you now." And guess who's there? Guess who the fuck is there? Rukia. But guess what? She's standing there getting Ichigo stabbed, and then at that moment, Ichigo's powers return! And then what's left? Ichigo's just standing there, and it says, "The fall of the blade. Blade has fallen." And that's how it ended. Before I go on a rant, I'm going to tell you right now what I'm going to give this chapter. This chapter could have been given only 1 out of 5. But I'm going to be fair here and say 3 out of 5 Holomax. However, there's an exception to this. There are 2 things about this chapter that pissed me off. But before I go on to that, I want to say one thing. Did everybody look at Rukia when she was stabbing Ichigo? You take a look at Rukia's arm. Take a real good close to Rukia's arm. Because you know what you see? Rukia's got a badge on her arm. Like the lieutenant's. So for this past year, Rukia has become a lieutenant. Are you fucking kidding me? But in all honesty, that was probably the fucking highlight of the chapter was Rukia. Now, listen, everybody, phone 999, everybody, I have only this to say. Of all the bullshit that fucking Kubo has put us through, I think it is a fucking greatness to see Rukia again. I just need to say that. So great to see Rukia again. And Kubo, enough of these fucking characters. I'm not going to make this into a rant, but I will say these two things. The two things that pissed me off with this chapter. Number one, why is Ichigo crying? Is there a reason, Kubo, he's crying? Like a little bitch? Enough! You're making Ichigo look like a child. You're making him look like a spaz. It's stupid. That's number one. And number two, well, was the title. Death and Strawberry 2. That means he basically reused his very first Bleach chapter title. And you know what that means. Now, I'm not going to suggest this completely, but that would suggest that he rebooted his series. But I'm not going to suggest that. I'm just going to hint it, saying that, he's using the same title he used in the very first Bleach chapter. Instead, it's called Death and Strawberry 2. Now, the phone 999. You obviously were not right about the whole business with the... But I'm not going to call you out on that. But I will say this. I noticed you reviewed the chapter. I'm telling you right, man, right now, I almost gave this a bad review. I was going to rant on this like forever. But I want to know what you think, man, about the Bleach title. Because this title should not be what it is. It shouldn't be called Death and Strawberry 2. Because it sounds like he's rebooting the series. Now, about Ichigo, I hate to admit to say it, when he got his powers back, it looked pretty good. Pretty good, so on and so forth. But I will say this. Kubo, he is not out of the woods yet. The only thing he's answered one question, who the Shinigami was. It's Rukia. It's Rukia, we can move on, it's Rukia. Okay. We also know Ishin and Kisuke. They were not in cahoots. They were not conspiring against Ichigo. We know that. What we don't know is what this is all about. Now that we've got Ishin, Kisuke, and Rukia, maybe we'll get something going on. They defeat Ginjo, Tsukishima, and they return everybody back to normal. Where does this go from here? I don't know. But you know what? You know what pisses me off? What the fuck was the reasoning behind this arc? This is horseshit. All that training he did was for nothing. Nothing. Just to have his powers absorbed, and then Rukia comes and stabs him, and then he gets his powers back. What is the point? That is the only thing I really am upset about. What is the point, Kubo? Is it really necessary to have it that way? Thank God Rukia is back, because I'll tell you right now, Kubo, this was one of your worst arcs. I'm sorry. This arc was not good at all. The only saving grace was Rukia. I said it. Rukia didn't show up when she did. I would have killed Kubo. Or, maybe not killed him, but... He's got to get back to the beginning. Okay? 499's right. He's got to get back to where he had the great backgrounds in the very beginning of Bleach. First 20 chapters. That was when he was good. Alright. It's been Bonkai 922. 3.5. 3 hollow icons out of 5. We'll see where this goes. Man, though. 9 minutes. We'll see where this goes. I just... Rukia is back, though. And I like the way she looks. So, Rukia and Ichigo. We'll see where this goes. See you guys later.